Hello there, friends. I hope that you're doing well on this July 4th, 2019. You'll have to excuse any noise from the background. My dad is just watching some fishing videos on YouTube. Um, Hope that you're having a good 4th, whether it's with friends, family, or even if you're alone. Hope that you have a little bit of happiness today. And if you have to work, well, when you get off work, I hope you can enjoy the time. Anyway, this is going to be a video about my experience with insomnia. So, it's been ongoing for, I think, not 9+ weeks now, ever since late April. So, I've never had sleeping issues before, other than, like the standard thing that everybody experiences of like a restless night here and there. But other than that, no problems. In fact, I would sleep too much. Felt like I could basically sleep on command. Like everything would just make me sleep, You eat just a little bit too much food or anything like that, especially if it's carbohydrates and you just want to fall asleep. You have a couple of beers, you want to fall asleep. Just even laying in your bed, which I would do way too much. So it just definitely spent way too much time sleeping and never really successfully overcame it before. Then again, maybe didn't want to try hard enough because, you can get excited all you want, but you set that alarm clock for an early time and it goes off. You can barely peel your eyes open and you tell yourself perhaps this was a bad idea, but whatever. So I'm not going to go into all the details and just, oh, poor me with the back. I ended up with upper back problems. I don't know, I was going for a walk one evening, just started bothering me. It was hard to sleep unless, I didn't use a pillow. Just that position wasn't aggravating it. And then the next day seemed okay, but then towards the evening, same thing, just felt even worse. And then I think that third night is when the insomnia really hit, and that was it. So it's kind of this thing where your upper back hurts, so it's tough to find a position. Well, and they say, statistically, if you've had lower back issues, which I have, you can develop problems elsewhere. And so it's like you find these weird positions to try to lay in where it doesn't aggravate your upper back, and then neck started to hurt. So it's something that I definitely don't wish on anyone, because especially when insomnia is bad, it is legitimately truly terrifying. When and during its really rough phases, whatever. So it was the first 4 to 5 weeks were really especially bad. You just have these strings of nights where your rest, sleep, whatever, just consisted of probably every 30 minutes, just tossing and turning every 30 minutes, getting up. I'd go lay down on the floor on my yoga mat, and then try to find another position on the floor, and then this sort of pillow, or use a towel, and then go into the living room and lay on the couch, because it sort of felt like, wasn't being aggravated there. And then just nothing's comfortable. Then you get in your bed and that's comfortable, but it aggravates, just in another way. So it's just little bits of sleep that you get that way from sheer exhaustion, and even then, barely any of it. It's just that very, very light sleep where you feel yourself awake laying there, and then just time goes by. So stuff, a lot of it was a result from the upper back and neck issues. But you know, even though when you'd find positions of comfort where it felt like, oh, okay, in this, I feel like I'm not being bothered by anything, you just couldn't fall asleep. And that's when it really was like, shit, man, this isn't good. It's like your brain couldn't turn off, if that makes any sense. So just like sleep was never induced, and like moments where you could feel yourself drifting off into sleep and almost snoring, like you just like have this startle reflex where instead of you, oh good, finally you can dream off, sleep and rest, it's like your body or your brain or something was making sure to keep you awake instead, where you'd get startled and it's like, oh, I was just starting to fall asleep and great. Now now I'm wide awake. As I have these days where it feels like you've been up for 2-3 days and you're laying there, you get startled awake due to whatever the hell is going on. And it honestly feels like you could probably go outside and walk for 5 miles. It's really, God, even just talking about it, like I almost don't even want to talk about it, because there were some, that's when that kind of stuff really feels like legitimately scary, whereas like I'm not resting, I feel like I'm not turning off, it feels like you're literally going crazy. God, I almost don't even want to recount those. Shit, man. And of course, it was also a learning experience of talking about this stuff with your doctor and all the questions of like, ooh, have you been thinking of harming yourself, this or that? And it's like, no. Like, I literally can't sleep because of this back stuff, but also at some point I was just like, no, I'm not really depressed or anything, because nothing really changed. So and I've had periods of time before in the past where I felt pretty damn depressed and all that, but never had any sleep issues, anything like that. But just, I don't know, I think I got kind of described the neck issues and stuff, and the doctor, or it was not the doctor, it was like an assistant, oh, what you're describing sounds exactly like anxiety. So it was like, okay, so are they now going to start treating me for depression and anxiety with pills, not the like legitimate pain that I am having that gets triggered by certain things, like I think sitting in a chair with like a backrest, it just felt like something was digging into your spine. So that's why like driving was almost like I try to like get off the back, because there were moments where it's like, oh shit, God, I think, are they gonna now do the it's all just in your head, man, that thing. As I said, just recounting those early weeks and days and all that is man, I lost my appetite. I think I lost almost 10 pounds in 1 week because I just didn't want to eat anymore. I don't know what it was. It almost is like you develop depression and anxiety, but it's because of like the pain you're having and the trouble sleeping. So, I don't know. And God, trazodone, which, oh great, oh she gave me a prescription for something, and you look at it, it's like, oh, it's used to treat depression, but also for insomnia. It's like, I just had to clarify, are you treating me for, like, am I still being treated for back pain and issues sleeping, or is this now like, you think I'm depressed? I was like, oh no, it's just used for insomnia too, alright. And basically didn't do shit. I think I had one evening where I fell asleep, and the rest, nothing. So, and yeah, and the first 4 to 5 weeks basically felt like my job was to be sick and go to endless doctors. I just go to doctors, visits, specialists, blah, blah, whatever. So that's why yesterday's video about the question still remains. That's why it's just so nice to feel like, it's still ongoing, not over yet, but way better, and you just feel like a more functional human being. And so, yeah, more doctor's visits, blah, blah. No, muscle relaxants didn't do anything. The whole, taking a leave, blah, blah, ibuprofen. Like this, none of that really felt like it did anything at all. And missed time off from work, which was not like a vacation. It's like, well, take a little time off from work. I'll come back and work shorter days. And like, nope, that was I mean, I think like, God, that did not work well. Back to the doctor again, and I think I finally decided enough with this like meeting with an assistant crap. Met with like my main actual doctor I was able to get in. Went on prednisone, and she, that's when I was like bringing up the sleep issues too. And I guess looking back now, I should be thankful that it's the doctor that's not so willing to be like, sure, let me just give you a sleeping pill, but put me on prednisone, and because it can cause insomnia too, gave zolpidem, aka Ambien. Yeah, the prednisone made me feel another type of worse, and didn't really feel like it did anything. But who knows? At this point, between everything that happened, it's hard to know what actually helped, what didn't, etc. And the Ambien, God, that was it. I think I had 1 or 2 evenings where I felt like I actually fell asleep. The other ones, all it really did was make me feel at some point that like I forget that I'm laying in bed, and then at around 5-6 a.m. you become conscious that you're laying there. And so whatever sleep you get is like the worst kind, and you feel groggy, sedated, just that like drugged up awful feeling. Like I don't miss that at all. Like I don't know how people get addicted to that stuff, because Ambien just made me feel truly awful. So however my body processes it, it's like, no, it was, God. So then, at some point it's like whatever little physical therapy I was doing there, and since that wasn't doing anything, she was like, you probably need to go to a specialist for this. Go to the specialist. They had gotten an x-ray done early on somewhere else, and didn't show anything other than the standard, hey, you're getting older, here's like a little degeneration, but it could be this. It's the first time I actually had any sort of imaging done of my back at all. So, but same thing, just do physical therapy. All right, I'll do it over here. But yeah, between the physical therapy I was doing there and the doctor, it's like, well, off to the specialist with you, and got an approval for an MRI. So yeah, MRI showed a couple of small disc bulges, and it's hard to know, did it look that way at the beginning, or was this an improvement? Who knows? But Neck looked okay too, other than same thing. Here's a little degeneration, whatever. But basically, like, well, let's try. Let's try a different physical therapy. Wherever you were going, maybe it wasn't good. So, funny enough, yeah, by the time I got around to that first appointment, just going to work that day, because at some point, it's like, I mean, I can't just endlessly stay home, so it's just force your ass, go to work, no matter what, just bear through the pain, and it's pretty rough, It's neck tension, just like start kind of feeling going numb here a little bit. It's like, but I've had a little bit of that before this. So I said it was, and they say, I think insomnia can cause you to be more sensitive to pain or something like that. So it was just, God, now I'm just rambling. But yeah, ironically enough, after that first consultation, that first day at work, like, bothered me way, way less. So it was like, great. After all of this, and as I start this new, better physical therapy, whatever, right now it gets better. So I just committed myself to, I'll do however many sessions you feel I need to. So I'm finishing up pretty soon here. I think I have one more on Monday. And yeah, at some point it was like, well, I mean, I don't want to be reliant on Ambien. So I think it's now been 4 weeks that I've been off of it, and it's like, well, doc, what do you suggest? And she was like, I said, looking back now, I should be thankful that she's not the type to be like, yeah, let's try this other sleeping pill, because it's not a solution. So I think I was doing Benadryl and melatonin, and it's like it didn't feel any worse than being on the Ambien. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just do this for same thing, just kind of shitty, not great sleep. A lot of it is that type where you just feel yourself laying in bed, and then time goes by, and you're like, oh, it's time to now get out of bed. And I think I've read that you do actually sleep. It's just very poor quality sleep. So you can look at that kind of stuff and be like, oh, I didn't sleep at all, blah blah. It's not really true. It's shitty, awful sleep. So, it was good to be off the Ambien, still kind of groggy, whatever, not feeling great during the day, but not as shitty as it was taking the Ambien. I said, I'm just so happy to have get off that stuff. I said, I don't know how people get hooked on that, because, and then, let's see, it just kind of occurred to me, well, everything you Google about it, you keep coming across this, like, cognitive behavioral therapy and stuff and all that. And I mean, I knew in my head that there's got to be a solution to this. And before you say, have you tried the green herb and all that stuff? Yes, during the worst of it, I decided, I need to try something. So tried, went to a dispensary, tried CBD oil. Honestly, I didn't feel anything from it at all. Increased my dosage, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. If I felt anything, I could barely notice. It definitely did not help with pain or sleep or anything like that. So I don't know. Tried the edibles, and it's like either didn't feel anything, or it felt like too much and just like felt anxious, beating heart. And it's like, well, this sucks. Like, I'm trying to relax and fall asleep and blah blah blah, and this is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, thankfully did not listen to the advice of general xylophone telling me to, dude, take the whole bottle. Yeah, because 20 milligrams. And I kind of freaked out. If I hadn't had people tell me, yeah, this stuff can be normal, you just took too much. I was nearly ready to go wake my parents up and say, hey, I don't know what's going on. I think I poisoned myself. Take me to ER. Oh, God, that was awful. I don't... So that was the thing. It's like, I either didn't feel anything. Oh, let me break it up into little this and that. Like, it either didn't feel anything or it's like not good. And yeah, I got the indica, so I know the, you get the right strain, whatever. Yeah, I either didn't feel anything or just like not good effects. Just, I feel like my heart beating. God, during the worst of it, it's like my muscles started to hurt, especially my biceps felt weird, and it was like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, this is what people are into. So, and I did try vaping too, which was better than anything else. But it's same thing. It's like, I can't tell if I'm relaxed or not, or it's just because it's so late in the day and I'm sitting down that of course I feel relaxed. So it was better, but still, the only thing I did not do was try the actual green herb. But from the experiences I had, honestly, like, I just don't think it's for me. So that's okay. Just a thing I don't, I mean, I was kind of in a desperate spot in life with all of that stuff, and sleeping and the pain. And it's like, well, you live in a place where it's legal, and you've never done it before. I mean, is it maybe just worth a shot? Talk to the people in there, see what they say. And yeah, I had my experiences. Just, that's the way my body responds to it and processes it and whatever. So, and I didn't care enough to like, oh, let's, try this other thing. At some point, it's like, I just don't think it's for me. So, I just kind of decided, well, let me just see what I can look up on my own and read, because is this going to be a thing where you go to the doctor and say, I'm still having the sleeping issues, I need to solve it, and they send you to a sleep specialist or a psychologist, and they'll just tell you to try something that you read about anyway. So how about I see if I can try something on my own, and if it doesn't work, etc., then I'll go and see. So came across this sleep restriction stuff where you basically, you can spend too much time in bed, where trying to sleep more, being in bed more isn't necessarily gonna get you more sleep and can mess things up even further, mess up your circadian rhythm, and it's a mistake that people with insomnia make. So, there's all sorts of like stuff that you can do. I saw different variations. One was like, oh, you need to stay up 24 hours first night, and the other one, it's like, keep a sleep journal for 2 weeks and figure out how much time you're sleeping. And it's like, well, I don't know how much time I'm sleeping, because it feels like I'm not sleeping at all, but you're also telling me that this is sleep. It's just bad sleep. So I couldn't figure out. So like, oh, if you're getting combined total of 5 hours in sleep, that's your sleeping window. You might only be in bed midnight to 5 a.m. and that's it. So like I said, that didn't really make sense to me, because it didn't feel like I was sleeping, like I said. So let's see. I just decided I will just pick a time, I'll just pick a window. So the idea is you restrict yourself to being in your bed and sleeping only in that window. All other time you have to stay out of your bed, and some people even like stay out of their room and you have to stay up no matter what, wake up at that time no matter what too. It drives up your sleep pressure, and it's meant to, like the sleep that you do get, it's meant to increase the quality of it too, and then over time you can increase that sleep window further back or forward, whatever. So I just picked around midnight to 6 a.m. So yeah, it's been a little over a week and a half. The effect has been pretty dramatic. It's not over, and I'm not deluding myself that, oh, I've now got this beat and everything's just wonderful. It's just, the effect has been pretty dramatic. Happy. Can continue on with it. Just increasing now my sleeping window to around 11:30. Said in the previous video, I never thought I'd be happy to say that it feels good to feel sleepy and tired, and that feeling of like your eyes closing. Because yeah, if you've struggled with insomnia, especially when it was really bad, boy, like that's the only thing you wish you could experience. So for the first couple of nights, I think I was still doing Benadryl, and it's like, well, there's got to be a solution to this that doesn't require any pills or this or that. And I remember buying, natural sleep aids and this or that. It's like, man, if this one doesn't work, try this other. It's like, man, I said this is just like a function of the human body, and it's not like you went through something traumatic. It's just screwed up right now. Like, there's got to be a way to fix this naturally without anything, without any pills, whatever. So I got off the Benadryl, and I think I read too, if you take too much of it for too long, it can be like a cause of dementia and stuff. It's like, great, yeah. And then I was doing valerian root and magnesium, which didn't really feel like it was doing anything anyway. So after a few more days, I just decided I'm not taking anything whatsoever. So it was kind of the first night was okay, second night was awful, third night was better. Like, third night was amazing, fourth night was mediocre, fifth night was better. So first week or so, it was kind of this back and forth. But I viewed that as progress, because it's like, well, I stopped taking everything, and at least I'm getting some sleep. Hey, here, every other night, hey, it's not going too bad. I mean, I'll take that. That's progress. And so last 4 nights have been pretty good, to the point where I've started going to bed at around 11:30, because it's just like I just can't keep myself up any longer. So just feel yourself drifting off. And so been doing really well, getting up. I actually forgot to set my alarm last night, and this morning still just kind of naturally woke up and then got out of bed around 6 a.m. So it seems to be, I'll get in bed and maybe just lay in bed for around 20-30 minutes and then fall asleep, and then around 5:30 wake up and just kind of feel myself laying there in bed, just kind of a little tired, whatever, but enjoying just still being there. And then alarm will go off at around 6, and then I'll get up and just, I still lay down, but I just, I might go lay down on the couch here and there, because you can't stand all day, or go sit at the computer or whatever. But I just told myself, I will not get in my bed whatsoever unless it's time to go to bed. Because one of the other things too is you're supposed to retrain your relationship with your bed, where it's a place of relaxation and sleep, not this like, oh God, I can't fall asleep, this place of anxiety and restlessness, etc., which has been a complete I did a 360 and walked away right now. A little joke that I'm sure you get the joke. Where, yeah, I mean, I used to be in bed all the time, probably due to the depression and all that. I'd sleep all the time. Even when I wasn't sleeping, I would just lay in bed, do everything in bed. I spent way too much time in bed, where it does almost make me wonder how many of my back problems came from spending too much damn time in my bed, because at some point they do say that past a certain amount of hours in a day, it is harmful to just continue laying there. And yeah, I would have earlier on there, yeah, I'd look at my bed and just feel like terror and anxiety, where it's like, great, I know it's time to sleep, but this is just gonna suck, right? So yeah, because I started to keep myself up so late, by the time you get in bed, you can't help but start to feel relaxed, because you're finally in a, I have like a firm mattress, but it's I just find it comfortable. So, slowly it went towards like, yeah, that anxiety about it started to disappear. And said last 4 nights have been really good, and I'm prepared to have, I'm sure there'll be evenings where it's like, it feels like you've gone back to not sleeping again or something like that. So I'm not, this is not like, oh, I'm finally over everything and out of the woods. It's just a thing that I do now and will continue to do so. And I think just into the future, I'm not going to go back on any of it now. Like where now I can just stop doing everything and go back to how I used to be. No, I think it's just kind of the new normal. Slowly increase my sleeping window a bit more, and I think that'll just be it, Only getting in my bed when it's actually time to sleep for the time that I have set aside, so that you have like a normal, healthy relationship with your bed, not whatever. So still ongoing, but it's working, it's working. The days are more consistent, and I'm not really waking up during the night. It just feels like at some point when I do fall asleep, I lay there until a little bit of time before it's time to wake up. And so the screwed up sleeping pattern I had is being fixed. My circadian rhythm is, I feel like, normalizing. The sleep that I am getting is of like a higher quality, but I mean, it's still like, yeah, I still feel tired because it's not as much as maybe I need and all that, but I'm just taking my victories, and appreciating them. So better than how it used to be. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Now it's just kind of continue it on and keep praying and hoping for the best. So, I'm not on any pills whatsoever. I can't tell you how freaking happy I am to not be on the Ambien. No pills, no supplements, no nothing. It's just it feels like your body functioning like it can and should, without any sorts of assistance and this or that. So and yeah, the bed feels like a place of relaxation. So I said a lot of that, I just kind of did what I read and appealed to me, and there's a lot more to it, and so far I think it's going in a good direction. There's sort of this dream journal of like, oh, when you got out of bed and this or that, or yeah, the one thing I didn't agree with either too that I read was they say, and I kind of saw comments from people on the internet saying something similar was, oh, well, if you don't fall asleep within 15 minutes, you just need to get out of bed and go to another room and do something. Well, okay. I mean, if I do that, it feels like, or especially early on, I'll always be in another room. But also, like I said, thought I read, some of these articles, a lot of them mentioning, yeah, even though it might feel like you're not sleeping, you are sleeping. It's just poor quality sleep, so it just sort of feels like you're half asleep, half awake or something. So if that's the case, and I feel myself still sort of conscious there, if you will, why would I interrupt that and go to another room? You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff, like, didn't really make sense. These people are saying this, but then these ones are like, oh, no. And how do I know if 15 minutes have gone by? Because they say, don't check the clock, don't that's bad, you're training yourself in a bad way. So some of that stuff seemed kind of inconsistent and didn't make sense to me. As I said, what made sense to me was you create yourself a sleeping window, and you can only go to bed and try to sleep during that time, and that's it. Got to keep yourself awake otherwise, and as soon as that alarm clock goes off, you got to get out of bed. That made sense to me, so that you're not doing this chunks throughout the day and this or that. You're just like really tiring yourself out, and you can only be within that window. So I don't know, seems to be working well. This is drywall, this is wood. Gonna knock on wood, and just, I said I did a lot of praying, folks, during the worst of like the back issues, and then with this sleep stuff, I did praying too, of like, because you just don't feel like a functional person. It's like, man, like, is this the rest of my life now? Like, yeah, I can see how, like, you could develop even worse depression and stuff because of this. I mean, I said, just going back around to the beginning where, like, I don't wish this shit on anyone, and during the worst of it, like, it truly is legitimately scary. Like, when it just, this basic human function that you're supposed to be able to do and you've been able to do your entire life, and seemingly nothing has happened, and now it just feels like you can't sleep, you can't ever turn off. So let's see, my relationship with coffee is better. I don't drink any coffee past noon now. Other than maybe here and there, I might have a little decaf. Yes, I actually started drinking decaf sometimes. And I'll only have just like 1 or 2 cups in the morning, and that's it. Drink water. Trying to think of anything else. Definitely have not been drinking much at all. A shot of cognac here and there with my dad. But yeah, it was interesting. It's like, remember some evenings where it's like you didn't feel any pain, but it felt like you would lay in bed and just feel your heartbeat, and so you could, like, that was constantly in your mind, where it's just like this. It's like, what the fuck is happening to me? It's like, okay, this is good. I'm laying here, whatever, and I don't feel any pain in my upper back. But was this always this way? But in a normal functioning mind, you don't notice it was just fucking crazy. That's why the experience with the cannabis, it made that feeling even worse, where you were so in tune with your like blood, like your heartbeat, and just like that pulse you get in your neck too, where that's all you could think of is like, hell yeah, well, I'm not gonna fall asleep now, obviously. Man, I don't know. It's I prayed for just, there's gotta be a way to handle this without, let me look up pills and see if I can ask my doctor for some other pills, because like that's not a solution. Maybe you find a pill that works for you, and but what happens when you get off of it? And I said, it's not like I went through something traumatic, so in that situation maybe I can understand, but for me, like, there has to be a way to solve this. And so I'm glad it just occurred to me. Like I said, maybe it was an answer to prayers of, you kind of help yourself, but you're given the little push that you need. You read up on this stuff and like, all right, well, that looks interesting, I'll give it a shot. What else do I have to lose? I mean, I'm up anyways, so I might as well just not be in bed and do something, maybe get some reading done, watch little YouTubes or whatever. So the upside to all of this, folks, is the fact that, well, it's given me a lot of free time in the day since I'm not sleeping so much. So I'm viewing it as a positive, I used to complain about sleeping too much, and I said, almost in a weird way, it's like all of this stuff was meant to happen for you to start overcoming some shit about yourself, to kind of regain some control over your life, and not just keep sleeping it away. I mean, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. each day, almost like it's nothing, and that, God, felt almost impossible in the past. Got all this extra time in a day that I would sleep away. Now it is like, well, shit, got all this time, what can I do with it now to be productive? And just my relationship with sleeping in my bed is way better now. Not this like, oh, just whatever, man, I'm just depressed and I'll just like sleep, whatever. Now it does feel like a thing where you use it to legitimately relax and restore yourself, not just like, sleep away your life. And I don't know. So, in a weird way, I'm almost grateful that it all happened, because it has forced me to fix some things. And that's good. That's good. It is so interesting where I used to say, if you don't, if you're getting signals from life, God, whatever it is, to do something, and you don't do it, at some point those signals will be much louder. And so the signals, let's just say, definitely became louder, didn't they? And it's like, now you have no choice but to confront that and such. So yeah, and just kind of like trying to function and such was very beneficial too, where it's not just a thing you're always dwelling on, or oh, I have sleeping issues, poor me, I'm not sure I can do anything to it. It's just like, alright, it is what it is. I'll try to function to the best of my abilities. Still gotta move on, move forward. do things, take care of things, live. So it was just sort of funny. Just sort of funny how that works out. If this was a lesson by life, God, my guardian angel, the universe, whatever you want to say, folks, I definitely learned it. So I honestly don't even feel like I can go back to sleeping fucking like 12 hours a day or something during like I used to really be super lazy and just be in bed. It's just sort of funny how that works out. Alright, folks, I have no idea how this turned into a 45 fucking minute video. Anyway, I wish you guys a happy 4th. I don't even know what time it is now, God. Anyway, it's going good. If you have issues with sleeping, I don't know if it'll do anything for you, but it's worth a shot. I didn't do things in the most scientific manner and under the guidance of a doctor or whatever, but I figure you don't need to go to a doctor for everything. I mean, we have the internet. We can read about stuff and try stuff out and see if it works. And if it's time to go to a specialist, whatever, sure thing. But you can try stuff out on your own too, so it's worth a shot. So, seems to be going well, and I'm thankful and grateful for that, and we'll continue on with it. So, I think that's everything. I don't think there was anything else, and yeah, just a general appreciation for some things, That's why hopefully you can kind of understand why some of my stuff has probably just outlook, viewpoint, whatever, even if it's not major, like some stuff has definitely changed. Like the last 2 months has forced me to really change some of my outlook, mindset, the way I view things, blah blah. Hopefully this gives you an idea of just like a lot man fucking happened. I mean, early on, I even went to like a church and bought a cross and had it asked for it to be blessed by a priest because I lost my cross long ago, and just even like bought a candle and put it under whatever, even bought holy water and just came home and burned incense, like frankincense. I don't know, it was just like, man, something about everything felt wrong. That's really the only way I can explain it. Just something about how everything went and how everything seemingly came out of nowhere. And like I went from never going to the doctor to now always to just like constantly going to the doctor. And it wasn't just the back and sleeping issues. It was the like, hey man, you got like high blood pressure and your mom has high blood pressure, so you might want to finally think about this too. And just like, x-rays and ultrasounds for the kidneys and stuff like that, just to make sure you don't have like this thing that your mom had. And just re-examining some relationships. That's not worth going into. Let's just say having to be a lot more responsible for things in your own life and health, way more than, before it was like, oh, I have to go to that doctor, you know, just super lazy, whiny, whatever. And then it became, when's the soonest I can go to get this imaging done, or whatever. I mean, I made a complete 360. Sorry, I can't ever not do that dumb joke. It was, I mean, even my mom made a comment of like, wow, you really took this on and like really notice a change in you. I mean, I was even on Indeed and applied for some jobs like during the worst of the back pain. I mean, I remember filling out this application, just like I was so tired, like, and just like even my fucking like upper abs started to hurt. I don't fucking know, man. I didn't even know what to write. Was I even writing this in a way that made sense? And I actually had a phone interview and even an in-person interview that I went to. I was just like, well, trying to bear through the pain. How much does it show on my face here? And it seemed like it went pretty well, but I mean, I didn't get it. As they said I interviewed well, but just somebody else had more experience and gave me some ideas for volunteering, something like that, at places to possibly get some more direct experience with stuff that I made a mental note of. So it was like, I don't even know why I was applying. It was just because I was tired of, like, when I was spending some time at home off of work, hoping for the prednisone or whatever if that was the case. Just bored, so I was like, what the hell? I wasn't even have my heart set on it, but just something to do. So, you know, I'm proud of myself for what it's worth. I know it's not much, but, you know, it was something, and I'm just extremely grateful that it's all now gone in a much better direction. Still got a ways to go with things. The upper back isn't too bad. Still having some neck tension and little bits of pain here and there. I mean, as I described, sleep issues I'm working on, but that's fine. I mean, it's just, I'm grateful that there is that improvement that it is, and I have to acknowledge that this has lasted much longer than anything I've had before, but I mean, there's people out there who have shit last for like months and months and years and stuff they never even get over. So like, I'm not going to complain about, it's just been a learning experience from it all. Sometimes you don't just get over it in a week, and sometimes you have a whole lot of shit to take care of. So just be grateful when it does start to get better. And I said, whatever improvements here and there, as slow as it might be, you know, I will take it. So, and anyway, God, oh, how did this turn into almost an hour long? Anyway, on that note, I will actually end the video. You folks have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.